Robbo, it's been a little while since the last game, that narrow loss to Lee. What's the squad looking like this 2 weeks hence?
Yeah, it's probably been, obviously, it'd be nice to have a win before you have a little break, and we were very close in that game. Probably a little bit sloppy in the first half, but in the second half we showed some real fight and could have come away with a win. It'd be nice to have a bit of break on the back of a win, but unfortunately just came up short. But what it has done is it gives us a little bit of a chance to some of the lads that have, been carrying certain niggles and knocks to actually, rest them up and get them better. We've used it to train pretty hard. We haven't just given them time off. I know some clubs will just give players a rest, but we've used it to actually get some good training under his belt, and it's allowed us to actually make some decisions this week that, rather than just the 17 picking itself, there's been a few lads that have missed out, which is good.
Adam Swift wasn't in the 21 this week. Is that an injury issue?
Yeah, he's one that's been a big disappointment, because obviously he's crucial to what we do with Swifty. And he had a calf injury, so we played against Lee Thursday. Brought him in Saturday, spent a bit of time together on Saturday, give him Sunday off, and then we started training again during that week. Trained Monday, absolutely fine. Tuesday off, came in Wednesday, nothing wrong with him, and then all of a sudden, just in the warm up, when we'd not even done anything, basically said his calf felt really tight, another calf, and then when he's had it scanned, he's tore it. So he'll be out for the next 2 or 3 weeks minimum. So it's very disappointing on his behalf and on our behalf.
Another, like you said, another calf.
Yeah, another calf, which obviously we're looking into again and working out what's, because obviously you look at his loading patterns, and he had a bit of time off the week before with his kids were ill and he were poorly, so he's had a little bit of a sort of staggered training over the last few weeks, but there was nothing really to determine that should happen, because we played Thursday, we got together Saturday, he did his recovery review, trained Monday great, had Tuesday off, so there's no sort of real indications of why, from a training perspective anyway, why that happened.
Bit of a mystery, isn't it? Let's talk about the new venue. Of course, you're going to be playing at Dewsbury against Wigan. How many sessions will you have, by the time the game comes around, how many sessions will you have had there to acclimatise in a way?
Yeah, we've done 2. We've done 2 this week, so we've had 2 really good sessions there, and it's different. It's going to be different for Wigan and us. It feels like a bit of obviously, when you're in the Challenge Cup, when you go to these grounds, and the surroundings are very, very different. But it's not only that; it's the pitch. It's not as bad as Bradford's, obviously. It's not as tight as Bradford's. The dimensions, but the scrum line and the post are very, very close together. So you're probably missing about 10 metres in width. So it does tighten the field up, and it obviously changes the way you play a little bit, and how you want to attack and how you want to defend. But yeah, it's more the width than anything else that probably throws them out a little bit. But we've had 2 good sessions there. We couldn't get on there today for captain's run, as they played last night, so the changing rooms, everything were off limits, and the pitch were off limits. Off today, sorry. It's Friday today, I'm losing track of days. Friday today that they play.
Does it put extra, given the dimensions, etc., does it put extra onus on the middles?
Yeah, very much so. There's still going to be, you've still got attacking threats at Wigan. I think you could put them on a postage stamp, and they've got a few players, Bevan and Jake Wardle, that could find space, anywhere on any dimension. So they are still going to be a difficult proposition, but it probably puts a little bit onus not only on their forwards but on our forwards to make sure you win that midfield battle.
Just away from the game, I think it was after the Lee match, wasn't it? You smuggled out the news that Jake Webster was part of the coaching squad. How did that come about, and what's he been adding to the group?
Oh look, it's never been a secret that we've got a skeleton staff. At the Giants, we have 3 full-time coaches for 3 teams. That is that is where we're at as a club. We all muck in and we all try and do as much as we can. Finney with the reserves as my assistant and with the academy helping out. So Finney knew him from his Castleford days. He's still working over at Keighley, but he's got time within the week where he started coming and just helping us out in on our training sessions, and he just makes such a he's got a wealth of experience, but it makes such a difference just to have more eyes. It allows me to free ups me a little bit to actually watch more rather than just being immersed in it all. And like I say, just the more eyes we can have on, the more teaching we can actually separate the group a little bit more. So he's made a massive difference. And he's like I said before, he's played at the highest level. He's been around the block a long time. He's coached. He's been a head coach, been an assistant coach. So yeah, it just really, really helps us actually moving forward. And it's something that hopefully that can continue.
He's one of the good guys as well, isn't he? I mean, you've added to the coaching squad. Is there still potential to add to the playing group? Is that still something that you're on the lookout for?
Oh, we're always on the lookout. In a salary cap sport, probably where we're at the moment with the cap. What I took over from last year, and there's a lot of it I took over from last year, and that's still prevalent now. That the cap is where it is, and you probably have to move before you can bring people in. That's probably that is where we're at the moment.
What's your take on Wigan then at the moment? What are you expecting from them maybe tomorrow?
Oh, look, they're a really good side, aren't they? I don't think you don't need to be a genius to work out that they have quality throughout their team. You look at, it's not just the 1 to 17. You literally go the 1 to 25. They've been the most dominant side in England for the past couple of years. With the trophies that they've won. I said before, they've sort of got cheat codes really within their squads, where when something's not happening for them, they're not playing very well, that Bevan or Jay or Jake Ward will just do something that nobody else can do really, and speed that inevitably kills teams. So we've got to be very, very good on an edge dealing with those when they get a half a yard of grass to work within. But not only that, look, they've got Harry Smith, who's really sort of flourished over the last few years, and probably just he knows what he's good at. There's certain aspects of the game that he's not a threat with, but what he is, he's probably the best kicker in the game at the moment. Reminds me a little bit of Danny Brough with that left foot. You can actually do a good job and drown them and limit the metres in yardage, Wigan, but then Harry Smith kicks a 20-40 as he did against us before, a 40-20 as he did twice against us before. So we have got to, as a team, put some pressure on his kicking game and make sure our backfield are swinging and getting the right pendulum and not allowing him to put the ball in the air as he wants. But you couple that then with the middles. They've got unbelievable middles. They've got strong middles that are real threat to deal with. Not just probably in the middles, but Cade Ellis offers a lot with the way that he ball plays. I think Sean O'Loughlin, I'm sure, has got a little bit of an influence on that, 'cause he's playing sort of a similar sort of style to him as that ball playing loose. So yeah, look, they've got threats throughout the team. We know that we're going to be in for a tough game, but one that we're confident going into. That we've had a real good couple of weeks, actually with the same players training with each other. That hopefully we can put our best foot forward.
Just lastly, it's the Stereophonics that have moved you out of your home, isn't it, for this weekend? Are you a fan? I
am a little bit of a fan, and you know what? I've probably got so involved in rugby that I didn't even know the reason why we're getting moved for a long time. I knew we were getting moved. I actually thought the pitch were getting dug up, as it does. We've done this in the past before where we played at Halifax 4 games because the pitch were getting dug up, so just assumed it was that reason again. And it was only a few weeks ago that someone told me about the Stereophonics there, so I wouldn't mind going to it, but obviously, we've got a game first that's more important.
Well, good luck against Wigan.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Cheers.
Yeah, Robert.
Hi, James. Thank you.
I was, as we've spoken about before. You haven't got the results, have you, at the John Smith Stadium? Could this home match at Dewsbury be good for you to something fresh, I guess?
Yeah, look, hopefully so. Hopefully it's a little bit of catalyst for us. I said before, after we've sort of always been earmarking this run of games where I feel like we knew we were getting players back, and we were going to have some good training under his belt, where we can actually build some combinations. So we're looking over the next 4 or 5 weeks to actually build, and hopefully, the John Smith has been us home for a long time, but I've said numerous times, we don't actually train there, we don't actually go there. We only go there for home games. And his form over the last few years at the John Smith Stadium hasn't been great. It's not only this year, but it's been last year. You probably have to look back to 22 before we were picking up regular wins. So, yeah, look, if we can use this as a catalyst, then great stuff.
I know you were viewing this 2-week period just gone as really important, getting that training behind you. Do you feel like you're going into this run of fixtures now in a better place?
Look, massively. That obviously don't automatically, you don't do a 2-week pre-season sort of mini camp, and results just happen automatically. But we feel like we're in a better position now than we have been, where we're putting some good back-to-back days training together, and you want to test yourself against the very best. And Wigan, Hull KR and Wigan are the two standout teams in the competition, and have been for a number of years. But Wigan in particular are the standout side. So we know it's going to be a tough opposition, but we've had, like I said before, we've had some good training sessions, good back-to-back training sessions, where we feel like we can have a good crack at them.